Hi Cancer, welcome back to the Astrology 33 channel. This is your March 2021 love reading. Thanks to those of you who liked, viewed, shared, subscribed, and donated to the channel. I appreciate all of that. For those of you interested in booking a personal reading with me, just check out the description video for more details there. And for those of you new to the channel, as far as what we have in front of us, this is what I call the Bridging the Gap spread. And the way it works is the cards on the left side represent your energy toward the connection with your main love interest. Cards on the right side represent their energy toward the connection. We'll look at the past energies, present energies, future energies. And once we get through all those, we'll actually pull some oracle cards for some additional insight. That's where the Bridging the Gap dynamic comes into play. And as far as the decks being used, on the left side we have the Lover's Path Tarot, on the right side we have the Tarot Sexual Magic. And keep in mind it is a general reading, so I'm going to be referring to the cards on the left as your energy and the cards on the right as the other person's. If you feel like that should be the other way around, then definitely trust that. Alright, so with all that out of the way. Past energy on your side, we have the Five of Staves in reverse. So this is actually Leo energy here. So for some of you, this could even be pointing back to when we had that Leo full moon toward the end of January. But yeah, more than anything, what I see here, well, this could be pointing to a couple of things. But for one, I feel like this is saying that you guys might not have been putting any energy and effort into the connection. Maybe you guys even were having some arguments with this person. But what seems a little bit more likely to me is that this could just be saying that you might have thought that this person had a lot of people, you know, in their circle, and you might have felt like you didn't necessarily want to compete with that, so you might have just withdrawn for a bit. That's primarily what I pick up on there. And past energy on their side, we have the Five of Pentacles. So more five energy here. This is actually Taurus energy. And so for some of you, this could be someone that maybe they were friends of yours, and you know, maybe they wanted to take it to the next level, but you might not have been sure of that. So they might have made an advance towards you, and you might have actually decided to decline it. That's another way I could see playing out too, because the Five of Pentacles definitely has that energy of rejection to it in this deck. You know, we see the masculine energy with the red color, and then she has like a icy bluish type color going on. So to me, it's like that hot and cold energy where, you know, they, like I said, especially given that you have the fire energy in reverse on your side, could just be saying that they might have been a lot more passionate and, you know, trying to get the connection off the ground, whereas for whatever reason, like I said, it looks like you might have been a bit unsure about that, and possibly because you thought that they had a lot of people around, and you're like, I don't know if I can necessarily trust them. Present position on your side, we have the Ten of Coins, which is Virgo energy, and the Seven of Cups, which is Scorpio energy. So for some of you, this could just be saying that maybe now your perspective might be changing slightly toward them, to where maybe now you do see the potential for a long-term commitment with this person, but still at the same time, there still seems to be a little bit of confusion around that, right? So I feel like you're seeing some signs possibly, but you might be a bit hesitant as to whether you could trust them or not, right? And given that this is Virgo energy, this could just be pointing to that Virgo full moon. At the time I'm recording this, we haven't had it yet, but it's coming up. So it could even just be pointing to that, given that that's in your third house of communication too. So you might be hearing from this person, and it could be one of those things where maybe they're saying all the right things, but you still might not be sure if you could trust it or not. So that's what I'm seeing there. And it could just be saying that another way could be playing out where you might start to view this person like, yeah, I could actually see myself having a lot of fun with this person, but can I see it going to another level, right? So that could be something that you guys are weighing as well, and then seeing if it's worth taking that chance. Present energy on their side, we have the Five of Wands, which is Leo energy, and the Nine of Swords, which is Gemini energy. So interesting to see the Five of Wands in the present for them here, whereas it was in the past on your side. Now, on the one hand, this could just be saying that they actually really do want to put effort toward you, right, with that fire energy there, but then they might be a bit nervous around that as well with the Nine of Swords energy right after that. So, you know, I feel like both of you are unsure around the connection. They might, on the outside, display more confidence toward the connection, but I feel like underneath the surface, they're still having those same doubts, you know. So that's one way I could see it. And another, ironically, the way this energy could be playing out is they might actually be convinced that you have someone else in the picture too. So in the past, it looks like you might have been withdrawing because you're like, okay, this person might have too many people around. I don't know if I necessarily want to go there with this person. And now in the present, maybe because you did, especially if you did decline their offer in the past, now they're thinking that you have someone else in the picture, so they're like a bit confused as to what to do. Sounds like classic retrograde energy, quite frankly, but um, that should be clearing up, of course, for us in March. Now that the retrograde's over, we're just really dealing with it clearing its shadow. But that's what I see there. And actually, one thing I'll point out too, this could also point to maybe there's a third party in the mix, not so much like in a romantic sense, but someone that's giving bad information to both of you. And if that's the case, especially if you guys are either dealing with the Taurus or you have a significant Taurus placement in your chart, you might want to check out their reading from last month because it had a very similar dynamic to that, where it felt like there'd be someone in, maybe a friend between the two of you that might have ulterior motives that might be passing false information between the two of you. So that's something to keep in mind as well. And in the future position on your side, we have the Eight of Arrows, which is Gemini energy. And so what this really makes me think of is the fact that you guys are going to have Mars moving into the sign of Gemini, which is your 12th house. So this could just be saying that you have a lot going on in your mind, right? And I mean, we could kind of see that with the Seven of Cups too. But here I feel like these are more forming into thoughts to where you're like, okay, maybe there's more confusion. You might feel a bit more certain about what's going on, but not necessarily feeling confident to move on that. So the clarity could be coming for you guys, but then it's just a matter of actually taking that action based on the information you receive, basically. And that could be a common thing when you do have Mars moving through your 12th. You might get ideas and you might have desires of things you want to do, but it could just be a little bit more difficult to actually get up and do it. So that could be what this is pointing to there. And then future energy on their side, we have the Knave of Wands, which is the equivalent of the Page of Wands, and the Eight of Swords. So interesting, you guys have mirroring energies in some ways. I mean, you have the Eight of Arrows in the future, and so do they. It's the Eight of Swords in this deck, but same energy. And then you guys both have that Five of Wands. So yeah, again, I'm getting a similar theme here, though, where I feel like externally they're displaying more confidence, but they're still a little bit unsure of what's going on. And for you guys, I feel like it's, externally, you pretty much don't have the confidence either. So again, like I said, this could really just be a matter of some confusion around the Mercury retrograde energies that were going on that are going to be clearing up. So maybe you guys are both kind of reading the situation wrong, right? And there might need to be more clarity that comes out. For a small percentage of you, I will say it's possible that this person might still have an X in their circle somewhere. Or they could, again, think that you have that going, because what always stands out to me with the artwork here is it looks like that woman's looking over her shoulder at that figure over there, right? And this actually looks like the same figure from the Devil card in this deck. So to me, that represents like that, maybe they have a karmic connection from the past they haven't completely let go of yet. But again, I feel like for the majority of you, it's more of you guys are reading the situation wrong in different ways, Bottom of the deck on your side, we have Contemplation. So this is actually the major arcana card for Virgo. It's the equivalent to the Hermit in traditional tarot. And again, so to me, that might point to the significance of the full moon that we're going to have in Virgo soon. So for some of you coming into March, you're going to feel like you have the information you need, and then you might just be thinking it through, right? And then with the Eight of Arrows, could just be saying that again, you might get that clarity, but then it's just a matter of acting on it. That might be a bit difficult. But yeah, given that his back is turned to the cards on the side too, looks like you guys might withdraw. It actually give it some time to think it over. But it looks like they will be you will have them on your mind at the very least. And bottom of the deck on their side, we have the Ace of Swords. So the Ace of Swords usually represents clarity, but more than anything, I feel like this is going to point to, especially given that we do see some fire energy there, this is probably going to point to them actually trying to push the matter to, get some clarity. And for some of you, that might even be why you're in that Eight of Arrows energy, where maybe you feel like they come on a bit too strong. So that could be what it is too. It's not necessarily that you're not interested, but maybe they just come on a bit too strong for your liking. But either way, it does look like this person's ready to communicate and try to get to the bottom of this confusion between the two of you. So at least there's that. Alright, so now we'll move on to the Oracle cards. First, we'll see if we get anything from the Moonlight deck here. I did pre-shuffle this deck before we started recording. What I'm going to be looking for here is just some jumpers. First, I'll be looking for unspoken messages from you to them, and then from them to you. And if I shuffle for a while without anything coming up, then I'll just move on to the next Oracle deck. But sometimes we get additional messages here. So, let's see if we get anything. Got one, but it fell. So now we'll see if we get any from them to you, and then I'll go pick up that card. Okay, nothing coming up yet, but I'll give it a few more shuffles. Alright, yeah, so nothing there, but I'll pick up that card to see what you guys had on your side. Okay. So, on your side, we have personal. Says this isn't about you. I'm working through a personal issue. So interesting. And all right, so for some of you, this can be a situation where maybe you've withdrawn because of finances. And that would make sense given that Virgo energy, that's the natural ruler of the sixth house, which is work. Five of staves in reverse, that's Leo energy, that's your second house of finances. And then we see the Virgo energy there as well. So I mean, I suppose for some of you that might be what it is, to where you don't feel like you have the energy to put toward the connection because you might have some other things. And like I said, finances is just the first thing that came to mind, but of course there could be other things that you're going through. So hopefully that resonated with you. All right, and then lastly, we'll pull a card from the Wisdom of the Oracle deck here. Same situation as far as I pre-shuffled this deck as well, but here we're just looking for one card with general advice, and we'll wrap up. Alright, nothing coming up yet, but I'll give it a few more shuffles. Worst case, I'll put the deck down and we'll pull a card. Alright, so let me just put the deck down for a second and tune in, and then we'll pull a card. Okay, we'll go with this one. Alright, we have Imagine. There's the artwork. The number is 20. It's same as the Judgment card in the Major Arcana as well, so could definitely represent something coming back around for you guys. But let's see what it says. Okay, it says turning imagination into manifestation, creative thought, visualization, the power of aligning imagery and feelings, creativity, emotions. The Oracle's message. Who do you want to be? What do you need to believe in order to have the life you want? You were gifted with the power to imagine. If you can dream it, you can create it. This is the time when your imagination is the key to manifesting the life you desire. Spend time daydreaming, fashioning a vision board to help you see your goals, or meditating. Allow the power of your creativity to deliver images of what feeds your soul. Then allow your feelings to mingle with your inspirations and imagine these things being real right now. Then repeat. What you imagine will become your belief, and soon you will see these things come to pass in the outer world as if by magic. So, interesting message there. And I will say, given that what we were talking about earlier with the fact that Mars will be moving into your 12th house, your imagination probably will be running wild, maybe sometimes in a positive way, maybe sometimes in a not so positive way, but hopefully that resonated with you. The relationship message says in matters of the heart, it's easy to daydream about another as a means of connecting to that person. While that's romantic, if you want this relationship to be real, you need to go for it, not just dream about it. Now is the time to move beyond the daydream and into reality, beyond illusion and into fruition. Relationships are about relating. So step out onto the dance floor where imagination partners with manifestation. The message of this card is that a person with attributes you have imagined will enter your life. You'll be changed for the better. Imagine that. So, interesting message there. And like I said, for some of you, I could see where it might add up to where it could just be that you do have other things going on to where you can't really put the energy into this connection. For others of you, like I said, it might be that you feel like this person's coming on a bit too strong. But the good thing that I will say is that it looks like with the Ace of Swords at the bottom, looks like this person is going to come forward and try to actually get that clarity between the two of you. So looks like there's definitely potential for it to work out. Like I said, for some of you, this could have just been the retrograde issue that was causing the confusion. But hopefully that resonated with you guys. I'll wrap up there, and I'll see you all next month. All right, bye.